Saturday, July 27th, and it's about 10 days since the initial Inspire surgery that was done on July 17th, 2024. Now, my last video, I think I posted a real quick one right after I got anesthesia, so I was a bit out of it. So I'll just kick off from where we left off, which was the day after the surgery. So this was a week ago Thursday. July 18th was the day after the surgery. I'd spent the night at the hospital that night, and just wanted to make sure everything healed up properly and I didn't run into any issues. And so Thursday, one day after the surgery, I went home, had my wife take me home, and had an okay 24 hours after that. So I was home Thursday afternoon into Friday afternoon, without really any issues. Obviously was sore at my chest where the Inspire implant was put in, and then I'll show you what that looks like as well. Also where the initial incision was under my chin here. So those areas were pretty sore, but other than that, I was recovering just fine until the end of the day on Friday, where all of a sudden I felt pain in my neck, and it was like, within a few minutes of the pain starting, and I was on painkillers, on Tylenol. Within a few minutes of the pain starting, it started to feel like someone was choking me from the inside. And so I called my wife over because I was at home, and I said, "Hey, can you take a look at my neck?" I'm like, I'm feeling this crazy choking feeling, and it just doesn't seem right, and I'm uncomfortable. I can't get comfortable in any position. I had spent the night on the couch the night before just to keep myself, standing in a seating position. And so my wife takes a look at my neck and goes, "You've got what ended up down here." She's like, "You've got a big bruise here." And I go, "Oh, no." We had heard it's possible to get a hematoma after. And so there was a circle-shaped thing right here that had developed where the incision's up here. This is down there, and this is a full, 2 days later. And that was where the pain was coming from. And so, I kind of panicked. We ended up going to our local ER, which might not have been the best decision. And long story short, it was a hematoma. I ended up getting transported from my local hospital to the hospital where I had the Inspire sleep apnea surgery that night, that Friday night, so 2 days later. Woke up recovering in the ICU after my doctor had gone in for a second surgery to fix the hematoma issue and let the blood out of there. My wife had told me that my neck had actually swollen to about 3 times its size when the hematoma was taking over. And so he went back in, had additional surgery, which is why it looks probably different than it. It definitely feels different than it did before that follow-up surgery. But everything looked good from what he's told me, from what he's seen there. I tried to give myself a little bit of shade because it was getting kind of out of whack. I have been wearing a kind of neck compression unit all the way around up until about 2 days ago, just to keep my neck kind of squeezed and also protected from anything hitting it. So I've taken that off today. I do have quite a lot of bruising, around my neck that you see here. It's usually not that color. It's usually this color. And there's a bunch of spots here from the bruising, and that's where the incision is over here that was reopened in order to get the hematoma situation handled. So I've got quite a bit of bruising around my neck. I've also got a lot of bruising on my chest, but what I'm going to show you from the bruising here is probably unrelated, but the incision is from the original surgery. This is what it looks like about 10 days out as it's starting to heal. The other bruises were developed during this local hospital stay and everything that went on there. So I'm kind of on a long road back to recovery as far as the complications that developed. But the Inspire, I did follow up with my doctor 4 days after surgery. It's going to be a week later, but because we had to go back in, I went and followed up with him. Uh, so I'm in the hospital daily, and then I also saw him at the office where, after expressing some concerns into, the viability of the unit, he felt confident the last time that I saw him that we would be able to, go forward with the Inspire sleep apnea equipment that's been installed, and that everything should work properly when we try to turn this thing on, after that month of healing. So at minimum, we're going to wait that month. So from this point, it would be like 3 weeks from this coming Wednesday. So 3.5 weeks away, where we would potentially be turning on the Inspire sleep apnea unit for the first time. One thing I didn't talk about probably in any of the other videos, so on the day of the surgery, that Wednesday, 10 days ago when I went in, I went in at 5:30 in the morning, and I, at one point, after getting all hooked up to everything and dressed for surgery and ready, with the nurses, the anesthesiologist came in, introduced himself to explain what was going to happen. And then the Inspire team, there was actually 2 people from Inspire that came over, had a talk with me, introduced themselves, said that at least one of them would be part of my ongoing process and my future visits with the sleep doctor that I will be seeing to manage this, that they'll be part of that whole procedure. So introduced themselves, and we had a nice discussion, and they also ended up bringing over the equipment and showing me what was going to be installed, and then giving me, the box of the equipment with the remote in there for Inspire. They even helped me set up the app on my phone, which is the app that links with the Inspire remote. And then that remote is what you take and you put to your chest that uses telemetry. So I put it up to where the unit got installed, hit the button to turn it on, as you've probably seen in some of their videos. So that's the next step. At this point, I'm just, going to spend the next couple weeks recovering from the follow-up surgery and the complications. The initial plan, if I hadn't developed any complications, was to go back to work a week after having the surgery for Inspire. But at this point, because of all the issues that I ran into and the scary hospital stay that I ended up having, related to this, I'm probably going to take a couple of weeks off just to recover, because as you probably saw, my body is just bruised from what happened at the second hospital stay, and my mind's pretty hurt as well. To be honest with you, it was pretty grueling, and I won't go into the super details unless you reach out to me, but it was kind of crazy. Kind of happy to be alive and back home. And they're going to take it, one day at a time, and hopefully get back to work in a couple of weeks. And also, obviously, the thing I'm really looking forward to is turning this thing on, for all the trouble that I went through. I want to make sure this thing works and reduces that sleep apnea that I have of 48.6 AHI on my back, and I think 29.6 on my side. And just reducing that as much as we can, hopefully to, no higher than 15 for when we do a follow-up study. So that's it for today. That's another long video, but I'm still optimistic, even though I had the ups and downs. The way this thing got started, the doctor's optimistic. My wife is optimistic that this thing will work for me and was worth the trouble in the end. So I will follow up in maybe a week or so, post another video, let you know the progress and how everything is healing. This is what it looks like today. This is where the incision for my neck was, right here. I can feel the glue that they used, and then I showed you my chest as well. So we'll kind of follow up and let you know what it looks like. All right, thanks. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.